So we were discussing the mean and variance of the binomial distribution. So in previous lecture, we were having the derivation of what is the mean of binomial distribution. So it was n into p, and you know for any probability distribution how to calculate the mean. So if it is binomial distribution, so you know the probability function. So this is your probability function nc x px q to the power n minus x, where x is a discrete variable. It can have values from 0 to n. So out of n trials, how many successes are there? So it is represented by small x, that is our discrete variable. So you know that out of n trials we can succeed maximum n times. So it is going up to n. So this is your probability distribution function. And if the probability function is given to you, then you know how to calculate the mean of that distribution. So what is mean? Mean is mu1 dash, which is called first moment and about origin, and it is the expected value of x. And how to calculate the expected value of x? Expected value of any function gx, it is calculated like x gx into the probability function. So this is discrete case, so we will multiply px to x because this is expected value of x, and we will make the sum from 0 to n. So this is the procedure to calculate the expected value of x, and expected value of x is denoted by mu1 dash, which is called mean for any probability distribution. So that was our motive. And what is px? Px is the probability function for the binomial distribution. So x into probability distribution function. So this is ncx, which is combination. Out of n trials you have to select x. So how many combinations are there? So factorial n divided by factorial x, n minus x factorial, and this is as it is, p to the power x q to the power n minus x. Now to that we have to prove that this mean is np. So we will make that combination. So we have to take n out of this summation, which is free from x. So we can take this out of this summation. So I have written this as n into n minus 1 factorial, and this x as x minus x into x minus 1 factorial, and this is n minus x. So I have subtracted 1 and added 1. So this is as it is, n minus x. Similarly, I have done this for the powers also. So p to the power x is p to the power x minus 1 into p, and we can write q to the power n minus x as n minus 1 minus x plus 1. And this summation, you know, this varies from 0 to n. So if the first term would be with respect to when x is 0, so whenever you substitute x as 0, so 0 into something will be 0. So x will vary from 1 to n now, because the first term would be 0 when x is 0. So x is x into something, that means 0 into something. So next, because this x would be cancelled out by this x, so the x is not present in the next term. So this is and this is p, and this other terms are same. So now I have taken n, this n and this p out of this summation. These can be taken out of this summation. Why? Because these are terms which are free from x, and the summation varies over x. So n into p into something. So whatever is left in the summation, this is the first this term n minus 1 factorial divided by x minus 1 factorial into n minus 1 x minus 1 factorial. So this is n minus 1 c x minus 1. So if you expand this combination, it will be n minus 1 factorial by x minus 1 factorial, n minus 1 minus x minus 1 factorial. So now again I have substituted one, means I have used one substitution, that is x minus 1 is equal to r. So x varies from 1 to n. So whenever you substitute x1, so 1 minus 1, r would be 0. So r would start from 0, and the maximum value of x is, the upper limit of x is n. So this will be n minus 1 for r. Clearly, if you see this formula, so using binomial expansion, you know p plus q to the power n is this series. This is r from 0 to n, ncr p to the power r q n minus r. So if you compare this with this binomial expansion, So it is starting from n minus 1. Here we have n minus 1 power. So this will be p plus q to the power n minus 1. Clear? Next, p plus q, the total probability of success and failure, it is 1. So 1 to the power something, so it is 1. So whatever is left is np, which represents our mean. Now the variance of the distribution. So variance of binomial distribution is npq. So this we have to prove that variance of binomial distribution is npq. So you know how for any distribution how to calculate the variance. So variance is equal to mu2 dash minus mu1 dash square. And what is mu2 dash? Mu2 dash is expected value of x square, and mu1 dash is expected value of x. So for this to calculate the variance, we need expected value of x and expected value of x square. So expected value of x is your mean. So this, or you have already this value, mean is np, that means mu1 dash expected value of x. So expected value of x is your mean, so mean value is np. So this is np square. Now only thing which is left is expected value of x square. So to calculate the variance, you need to calculate the expected value of x square. So this is for expected value of x square, and x is here a discrete variable because we are calculating this for binomial distribution, and binomial distribution the variable is discrete. So this is your probability function. This variable is discrete. So for discrete variable, you know how to calculate the expected value of x square. So it is x square into probability function, and summation from 0 to n. So x square, probability of value of x is the formula for binomial distribution. The probability function ncx, p to the power x, q to the power n minus x. So if you see this, we can write x square as x minus 1 plus x, because it will give you x square minus x plus x. So minus x plus x would be cancelled out. So what will be left? Only x square. So x square can be written like this, and other things are same. And again, I have divided this combination x minus 1 into something and x into something. So this is, there are two terms, the x minus 1 into the probability function and x into probability function. The summation varies from n 0 to n, 0 to n. Now if you observe this, here we have x minus 1, and x starts from 0. So when you substitute 0 here, so 0 into something 0, and the next term means when you substitute x is equal to 1, so 1 minus 1 0, so 0 into something is 0. So for starting two terms, when x is 0 or x is 1, the terms are 0, the coefficients are 0. So we will start from 2 to n, because from x to 0, from x x is equal to 0, and for x is equal to 1, the terms are 0. So I'm writing from non-zero terms. So x starts from 2 to n. Now this is same, and this is this term. So I've written the same term. So the reason is written here for why this. Now x starts from 2. Now if you see, this is, what is this? This is x into something, and this something is your px, probability function for binomial distribution. So this is your px. So x into px, x from 0 to n. So this represents your expected value of x. Clear? This is your expected value of x. Now the expected value of x is np. This you have already calculated. This mean is np, means expected value of x. So expected value of x is np. Now the first term. So if you now see nc, what is ncx? Factorial n divided by factorial x, n minus x factorial, and rest are same. Next, x minus 1. This factorial n can be written like n minus 1 factorial n minus 2, and this factorial x can be written like x minus 1 x minus 2 factorial, and this n minus x can be written like minus 2 plus 2. So subtracted 2 and added 2. So the overall calculated value would be n minus x. Similarly, for p to the power x, I have written p to the power x minus 2 into p square, and q to the power n minus 2. And similarly, this combination n minus x can be written like minus 2 plus 2. Clear? And this NP is NP. Now this x minus 1 can be cancelled out by this x minus 1. Clearly it can be visible clearly that x would be cancelled out by this x minus 1 would be cancelled out by this x minus 1. So what is left? This is n minus 1, n minus 2 factorial, and in the denominator x minus 2 factorial, and this is p square. So this is nothing, this is the same, and these are same terms. And so now n minus 1 and p squares, n minus 1 p square, we can take these term out of the summation because these are free from x. So n minus 1 p square. Now the left part is n minus 2 factorial, x minus 2 factorial, this factorial, p to the power x minus 2, q to the power something plus np. This np is not in the summation, this is free term. Clear? This whole summation, this summation of this term plus summation of this, so summation of this is equal to expected value of x. So this is not in this summation, so this is np. And now this combination n minus 2 factorial divided by x minus 2 factorial, n minus 2 minus x minus 2 factorial, can be written like this, n minus 2 c x minus 2. So if you expand this, you will get this. So now I have substituted x minus 2 as r. So when x is 2, the initial value of x is 2, so 2 minus 2, the r would start from 0. And when x is n minus 2, so the n minus 2 minus 2, so r would be r would go, sorry, the maximum value of n is 2, sorry, the x की minimum value 2 है, maximum n है, so x starts from 2 and it is going up to n. So when you substitute initial value 2, so 2 minus 2 0, so the initial value of r would be 0, and the upper limit of x is n, so n minus 2, so maximum, the upper limit for r would be n minus 2, so n minus 2, again n minus 2 cr, p to the power r, q to the power n minus 2 minus r plus np. And if you see this term, so if you compare this by the binomial expansion, this binomial expansion, here we have power n, so it is going from r is equal to 0 to n, and ncr, p to the power r, q to the power n minus r. So if you compare this with this, so it is n minus 2 cr, p to the power r, q to the power n minus 2 r, and r varies from 0 to n minus 2. So this is p plus q to the power n minus 2 plus np. Next, this p plus q, you know, this is 1, so 1 to power something is 1 plus np. So now this is, I have multiplied this, so n square p square minus np square plus np. So now from these terms I have taken np common, so np, so from here you will get 1, and from here you will get minus p. Clear? And because p plus q is 1, so q is 1 minus p. So this 1 minus p is q now. So this is your expected value of x square. Now the variance is expected value of x square minus expected value of x whole square. So expected value of x is mean, which is np, so np square. So expected value of x square value, this value is n square p square plus npq minus np square. So this n square p square would be cancelled out by this n square p square. So what is left here? Only npq. So this is your variance. Clear? So I have proved that the mean of binomial distribution is np and the variance of binomial distribution is npq. So similarly we can prove other terms also. This, if you remember, what is beta 1, what is beta 2, what is gamma 1, what is gamma 2, these are Karl-Pearson coefficients. So this gamma 1 represent, it is a measure of skewness, and gamma 2 is a measure of kurtosis. So these are called beta 1, beta 2, gamma 1, gamma 2. These are called Karl-Pearson coefficients. So similarly, if you calculate beta 1, this is mu 3 square by mu 2 cube, and you know how to calculate mu 3. Mu 3 is, for discrete kit, it is summation x cube into px, and mu 2 is, sorry, the mu 3 is because these are central moments. So its value is summation x minus x bar cube into px, and this mu2 is summation x minus x bar square, so into px. So similarly, you expand this like I have expanded this in mean and variance. We can solve this value for beta 1. Similarly for beta 2, here we have mu 4, mu 2, and what is mu 4? Mu 4 is fourth central moment about mean. So it is summation x minus x bar to the power 4 into px. Clear? So now you know what is x bar. X bar is mean, which is np. So after substituting and using this expansion, this combination, you will get this. Similarly for gamma 1 and gamma 2. So we can prove this. So if you remember what is gamma 1, gamma 1 is a measure of skewness. So and skewness is 0 whenever p is 1 by 2, and if p is less than 1 by 2, so this is 2 into 1 by 2, that is 1, so it is less than 1, so 1 minus less than 1 is positive, so the skewness is positive. And similarly when p is greater than 1 by 2, so this numerator is negative, so skewness is negative. Now the moment generating function for binomial distribution. So like I already told you, what is the significance of moment generating function? It is a function that generates all the moments for the distribution, and if we know the all moments for any distribution, we can tell what is mean. Means we can have all the information about that distribution, what is mean, what is variance, what is skewness, what is kurtosis for that distribution. So, and you already know that how to calculate the moment generating function for any distribution. So we are calculating this for binomial distribution. So this is your probability function for binomial distribution. And you know, in binomial distribution, x is discrete variable. So moment generating function about origin is mxt, which is expected value of e to the power tx. So this is the formula for to calculate the moment generating function. So moment generating function about origin is expected value of e to the power tx. And then how to calculate the expected value of e to the power tx? It is summation e to the power tx into probability function. So the probability function is what? This is for which distribution we are calculating the moment generating function. So this is your px. So this is the value of px into e to the power tx, and this summation is for every x. Now what are the possible values of x in the binomial distribution? 0, 1, 2, 3 up to n. So this summation is over x from 0 to n e to the power tx into probability function. Now this ncx is ncx. Now e to the power tx into px. I can write this as p into e to the power t whole power x. Clear? So now if you compare this using the definition of binomial distribution, binomial expansion. So this is because here the power is increasing of p into e to the power t, and this power is decreasing. Clear? So this is ncx p e to the power x q to the power n minus x. So if you compare this by the binomial expansion, this p plus q to the power n. So nc0, nc1, nc2. So you can observe from here r varies from 0 to n. ncr p to the power r q to the power n minus r. So in that case we have instead of p, we have p into e to the power t. Q is q, and this is ncr, so this is ncx. So if you compare this, so this is q plus p e to the power t into to the power n. So this is your moment generating function for binomial distribution. So like I told you, moment generating function will tell you what are the moments for binomial distribution. So this we can use to find out the mean and variance of binomial distribution. So what is mean for any distribution? It is mu1 dash, and mu1 dash, what is the relation between mu1 dash and the moment generating function? So if you differentiate the moment generating function one time with respect to t and substitute t is equal to 0, you will get mu1 dash. So you differentiate it with respect to t, substitute t is equal to 0, you will get the mean. So after simplifying, you can see that the mean we are getting is NP. So like we already proved, the mean of distribution is, mean of binomial distribution is NP. So we can derive the mean and variance from this moment generating function also. Next, what is mu2 dash? It is double differentiation of mxt, the moment generating function, with respect to t, and substitute t is equal to 0. So again we are differentiating the moment generating function 2 times and substituting t is equal to 0. So you will get n minus 1 p square np as mu2 dash. Now variance is mu2 dash minus mu1 dash square. So this is the first value, mu2 dash, and this is mu1 dash. So after solving, you will get npq, which is your variance. This we already, means we have already proved this. Variance is npq. So this was there were three derivations, one for mean, one for variance, and one for moment generating function. Now I told you what is probability distribution, theoretical. So it is a theoretical frequencies. Means if you want to calculate the expected frequencies of for any data, so you can use the distribution theory, probability distribution theory. So I told you the example. Suppose I have collected 10 students roll numbers, and if we want to know that how many girl students are there, how many boys students are there. So uh, there is one means, because I know the roll numbers of 100 students only, so I don't know which is girl student and who is boy student. So one method is that you call the 100 students and observe, that means count how many female students are there, how many male students are there. So in this way you will get the exact frequencies, how many boys students are there, how many girls students are there. But if you apply the probability theory, probability distribution theory, so theory says that means for each student we have 50% probability that he would be a boy, and 50% probability that she would be a girl. So for a person, for a student, there are 50% probability of being boy or a girl. So the theory says that out of, if you collected 100 students, then 50 students would be male students, would be 50 students would be girl students. So this is about the theory, means what theory says. So similarly, fit a binomial distribution to the following. So the distribution will tell you the expected frequency in the data. So this is your actual data. Means suppose x, when x is 0, the frequency is 30. When x is 1, frequency is 62. When x is 2, frequency is 46. When x is 3, frequency is 10. And when x is 4, it is frequency is 2. So if you know that in any distribution, what is x? X is the number of successes. So if you are repeating, means you are you are repeating one experiment n times, that means you have n trials. So out of those n trials, how many times, how many times you can succeed maximum? Up to n times. So similarly, we have this data 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 number of successes. So 4 times we are getting successes out of n trial is 2, and 3 times we are getting successes out of n trials, we have 10. And similarly, for 2 successes we have 46 times we succeeded 2 times out of n trials. So that experiment we are repeating n times, and the total frequency is, will tell you that how many times that set of trials is repeated. So we have two numbers, one is small n cap and second is capital N. So in small n, that means means how many trials are there in one experiment, and this is a set of means n trials. So if this set is repeated capital N times, so this will give you the expected frequency. So this is actual frequency, means these are the actual data points. So 30, 62, 46, 10 and 2. So these are actual frequencies. Now what theory says, we have to find out that fit a binomial distribution. That means according to binomial distribution, if the same experiment is repeated, then how many times we will get the zero success, one success, two success, three success, two success. That means sorry, four successes. So we have to count the expected frequency of zero successes, one successes, two successes, three successes, and four successes in the same experiment. Clear? So and in that case the total frequency must match to this total frequency. So in this we have the total frequency is summation f, which is 30 plus 62 plus 46 plus 10 plus 2, it is 150. So we have 150 trials overall. Clear? In one experiment, in one particular experiment, we are repeating, we have 4 trials, and that set of 4 trials we are repeating 150 times. Clear? So how many times we are getting zero successes? If we are performing that experiment one time, next second time, third time, fourth time. So this will give you the actual experimental count, means with the actual count. But what theory says, so theory says first we have to observe, means we have to fit a binomial distribution. So the variables are x0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So to count the expected frequency, if you remember the formula, it is capital N. The expected or theoretical frequency is given by capital N into NCX Px q to the power n minus x. This is your probability function. Clear? Expected or theoretical frequency is equal to n into Px, capital N into Px, and this is your Px for the binomial distribution. So NCX p to the power x q to the power n minus x is your Px. So capital N is the expected frequency. So when you will multiply the probability to the total number of trials, you will get the expected frequency for that distribution. So so first you need P and Q. So there are 2 parameters, either you will get N or P or N or Q. N is the total number of trial in one experiment, and P is the probability of getting success in one trial. Similarly, the Q is the probability when you are not getting success in that particular trial. So because there is a relation in P and Q, which is P plus Q is equal to 1. So either you must have P or Q. So in the second variable you can calculate from that equation. So now we need to know small n, small p, or small n, small q. So to fit a binomial distribution, we must know the 2 parameters n and p or q, the binomial distribution. So x varies from 0 to n. So how many trials are there? 4 in one particular experiment. Now if we know that that the mean of binomial distribution is what? N into p. So n into p is your mean for the binomial distribution, and you know for any data how to calculate the mean. So mean is, because this is a discrete data, so summation fx divided by summation f is mean for this distribution. So if you calculate this summation fx by summation f, so 0 into 30, 1 into 62, 2 into 46, 3 into 10, 4 into 2. So this is your numerator, and denominator is 30 plus 62 plus 46 plus 10 plus 2. So this is your fraction, 192 by 150. So 1.25, sorry, 1.28 is your mean. And for the binomial distribution, the mean is NP. So NP is equal to 1.28. So N is 4 into P is equal to 1.28. So P is equal to 1.28 by 4, that means 0.32. So if P is 0.32, then Q would be 1 minus P, 1 minus 0.32, so 0.68. Now capital N is summation F, which is 150. So now you know all the parameters for binomial distribution. Capital N is 150, and small n is 4, P is 0.32, Q is 0.68. So now you need to calculate the expected frequency, which is n into NCX Px q to the power n minus x. So this is the formula. Capital N is 150, 4cx, p to the power x, q to the power 4 minus x. Clear? So actual frequency are these numbers. Now when you substitute 0 here, x is 0. So 4c 0, 0.3 to the power 0, 0.68 to the power 4 minus 0 into 150. You will get the expected frequency for when x is 0. Similarly, when you substitute x as 1, so 4c 1, 0.32 x 1, 0.68 to the power 1, 4 minus 1. So, and if we multiply this by 150, you will get 60. So here we have the calculation expected frequency when x is 0. So I have substituted x as 0 in this relation. You will get 32.07. Now because this will represent the expected count, expected frequency. So that must be integer. So I have rounded this means this round off number of this number for this number is 32. And similarly, when x is 1, we have this combination, so it is 60.37. So round off number is 60. Similarly, 42 for the x is equal to 42.6, so 43. And for x is equal to 3, it is 13.36, so 13. Next 1.57 for x is equal to 4, so it is 2. So now we have to round off these numbers such that the total frequency must be equal to 150. Clear? So this 0, that means in if we repeated that experiment 150 times, we are in each experiment we have 4 trials. So out of 4 trials, how many means in one particular experiment we can either succeed 0 times, 1 time, 2 times, 3 times, or maximum 4 times. So how many cases are there where we got 0 successes in 4 trials? So there are 30 cases actually, but theory says that there are 32 cases. Similarly, for one is it is 60 cases, and 43, 13, 2, such that the total is 150. So we have to round off the expected frequencies such that the total of these numbers must satisfy the total frequency. Clear? So it is not like that if it is 32.57, you will make it 33. Otherwise, if it is suppose 60.57, so it is 61. It is 43. It is suppose 13.66, so 14, and it is 1.5, so it is 3. So the total may exceed this number. So we have to adjust the expected frequencies such that the total is 150. I hope I am clear about this. You have to round off these numbers, the expected frequencies, such that the total frequencies match the given frequencies 150. So this was the application part, means what is the significance of probability distribution. So it is the actual data, but because it is actual data, so we can perform and suppose, and also it is small data. So for small data we can calculate the actual frequencies within time. But suppose it is a big data, then we don't have time to calculate the actual frequency. So in that case, we will apply distribution theory, and we will consider them as expected frequencies. So these are the questions. So we will discuss this question in the next lecture.